Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. It's been a while since we had these conversations here, but of course, we are back, and I'm more than glad to bring you up to date with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place in this country and across our borders. We are here with Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Yes.
We have been here with you, I know, a while back. A lot has taken place, but here we are. And I think before we had even this conversation, that was way back before the President Joe Biden, the current president of the United States of America, decided to step down for Kamala Harris. Just want to get your thoughts a bit on that. Do you think that for the first time, maybe the United States of America stand a chance of having their first female president?
Well, the bigger chance was with Hillary Clinton, and it didn't work. So I don't see anything to convince me that it will work with Kamala Harris this time. Against Trump, it might be a little difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
But she stands a good chance, though. She has a fighting chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she can
She can break the
Trump a
glass.
good run for his money.
She can break the proverbial glass ceiling. Yes.
Okay, let's wait and see. Of course, our eyes are kept on that particular presidential race in the United States of America. But let's come back home here and have a conversation on what is currently going on. Of course, the ODM members who are actually nominated by the president to form part of his cabinet already resigned from the party, and the son of Mau Mau is actually feeling the heat, in as much as he's talked before and said that he's got no problem with what is taking place here and that he'll work with these people, knowing very well that he delivered. He said that all that he asked for were actually fulfilled, and therefore he's got no problem. But seemingly that is not the case, because people are like, he's not getting it well. He's not sitting pretty with all that is taking place between the president, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and all this. What kind of situation do you think Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua finds himself in at this particular moment with all these kind of political occurrences in the country?
I think Rigathi Gachagua is just watching what is happening. I am sure he must be enjoying every bit of what he's watching.
Why would you say he's enjoying?
He's enjoying. He's enjoying. Look, you started by saying those nominated to cabinet from the ODM side have resigned from their ODM position. There was no party to resign from. How do you resign from a dead party? ODM was dead. So where are they resigning from? So if this is killing a party like ODM and destroying a giant like Raila, why would he not celebrate? Gachagua is celebrating because look, ODM is dead.
Why are you making
these guys have killed ODM.
Why are you making
these guys have destroyed Raila. These guys are in the process of destroying Ruto. Why wouldn't Gachagua celebrate?
Why are you making it appear as if there was some sort of kind of a legitimate attempt to have the ODM party killed here by perhaps the president and his deputy?
There are many ways of killing a rat or even skinning it. The president has dangled a carrot before Raila and ODM, and they have gone for it. And they are choking on it. So the president is a smart politician. He has finished the ODM and destroyed Raila. So kudos to the president.
So the fact that the president may be in this can somehow be debatable. But then for the deputy president, he wasn't for this, because so far it now looks like some sort of a handshake. And all along with the kind of stance that he had, he did not actually want such kind of an arrangement to be there. So why would he be happy at this particular moment?
Listen, like many other Kenyans, Rigathi Gachagua was not for the handshake, for nusu mkate, or for cooperation. Now another name has come, broad-based. All these things, whatever they stand for, Kenyans generally were against this thing. From both sides of the political divide. Rigathi Gachagua was echoing what Kenyans were saying. That if somebody has one, let them carry their own cross. If running government is hard, let them do it on their own. What Gachagua and perhaps many Kenyans feared was that some intelligence will go into the corporation. And I must be very clear. If Raila and Ruto came together not in firefighting, but intelligently, because they had all the time. After the mandamanos of last year, 2023,
Yes.
Ruto should have seen a repeat will destroy him. Those mandamanos almost destroyed the country. And therefore, he should have begun crafting a deal with Raila. So that deal would have come naturally. But a lot of thinking needed to go into that. So such a cooperation between Raila and Ruto, born out of serious intellectual search, would be what Gachagua would have feared. A natural cooperation that works. Look, people even went to Bomas, came up with Nadiko. They would have used that opportunity, Raila and Ruto, to come up with a position of like prime minister. Give it to Raila or something like whatever, that would have been a much more natural working between Raila and the Ruto. You get it? And that would have been dangerous to Rigathi Gachagua. That would have been what many Kenyans would not have loved. But it would have come out so natural, so well thought out. So these guys wait until there's a bigger crisis by way of Gen Z. Then they say they're coming together. That is laughable. That can't work. That's like mixing water and oil. The way Raila and Ruto have met is no different from somebody mixing water and oil. They can't mix.
So you've actually...
But they had time. And if that had happened, it would have been a nightmare for Rigathi Gachagua. A natural development, for example, through the opportunity at Bomas, to reorganize government, to reorganize the structure of government through constitutional amendments that would provide for some form of government, where Raila, having been the loser, if you wish, then automatically, by virtue of the numbers he has in parliament, becomes somebody, either some kind of prime minister or something like that, or whatever title you would give it. Even a functional opposition, if you panel beat the constitution to allow for official leader of opposition, with all the trappings of power, with the sufficient resources to form a shadow cabinet. So that my friend Opio and I need not join Ruto's government at that time. Instead, he would be shadow minister in charge of energy with serious resources, like it happens in elsewhere. But you needed to work on the constitution. So I'm saying they squandered that opportunity. Then they are faced with a crisis. When the Gen Z crisis comes, now they tell us they want to cooperate. That cooperation will not work. And therefore, I don't see why Gachagua should be bothered. Yeah. Why? Why would Gachagua be bothered about something that will not work? This marriage won't work. Yeah.
So what then does this actually tell about maybe his personality, his influence, that is political influence in this particular administration? Because he says that they formed this government, and of course the new governor also says that they fought for this government and formed it. And sometimes he questions whether it's the same president he used to know back then in 2022 at this particular year. So do you think that somehow the influence of Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president, has been somehow watered? Because here we're looking at a situation whereby the traps that he laid at State House did not actually work according to him. What do you think?
You know, a trap can trap you so that the owner finds you there, he gets a prey. A trap can also be slow poison, you go and die. So Gachagua's trap, it was slow poison. And people are already beginning to die. You can see people, you can see ODM is dead. You can see Raila is suffering. So Gachagua's traps have worked.
This was not Gachagua's intention.
But
Gachagua's intention was to keep these people out of the state house.
Either keep them out of state house, or in the event they come together, they get into a relationship that can't work.
No, but here you are saying the only thing that makes you think that this relationship cannot work is because of the manner and the nature in which it was formed.
Correct.
After the Gen Z stuff happened. But then the traps were laid before even the
it is because of the traps that they could not do it in the normal way. They were afraid of doing it in the normal way because of Gachagua's traps. Ruto did not have the courage.
So what therefore
Ruto did not have the courage to come out openly and say, it is important for this country that we come up with an arrangement that takes care of Raila and the rest of his people. With a new, and this has been said before, he won't be saying it for the first time. People have been arguing against this idea of winner takes all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he would not have been saying anything new. But why didn't he do it? He was afraid of Gachagua because of the traps. Yeah. So Gachagua's traps to me have actually worked. Someone stopped me and told me, you seem to be having a soft spot for Gachagua. I told him, maybe, but that's not the case. The case is, I'm just seeing how these guys are building Gachagua. They are making him. You see? They are making blunder after blunder. And he's benefiting from those blunders.
Does the deputy president have any influence right now on this current government?
You must ask yourself, what sort of influence would a deputy president have or a vice president? This is again where Kenyans get it wrong. A deputy president is a person who is waiting just in case something bad happens, he takes over. He has no other role. There's no job description for a deputy president. It's to wait. If there's a vacant in the office abruptly, he takes over. That is his job description. Anything else, another kutupiwa tu enda ufungua hiyo kitu, go and chair that on behalf of the president, but he doesn't have a job description. Have you seen one in the constitution? He doesn't. He doesn't have. Zero. There isn't a job description for a deputy governor. And that's why deputy governors are getting wrong with governors.
Okay.
A deputy president has no job description. So you cannot say the influence of Gachagua is waning. He didn't have it. It's not in the constitution. A deputy president has no power in the constitution. Yeah. It is not there anyway. I've not seen, I've read, I've looked. Okay. Every time people say this thing, I go back to the constitution. I try and look for the power of the deputy president. I don't see it. It's a person put there like a spare wheel. Before you get what do you call it, a puncture, why do you need a spare wheel? The spare wheel inakaa tu kule. I had a vehicle for some reason that came with a spare wheel from the factory. That spare wheel was there for many, many years. For some reason, I never got up. When I got it finally, it was still new. I wondered. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, a deputy president is a spare wheel.
That is according to the law.
That's the law. That's the constitution. Anywhere in the world.
People would argue that the way the deputy president has been conducting himself, especially after the elections, after he was sworn in, it's like it's a case of maybe
he was trying to claim political space.
Yeah,
he was claiming political space.
And people are saying maybe it amounted to some sort of a co-presidency kind of stuff.
But that's how that's the mistake governors make when they are running for office.
Okay.
They give the impression that because they want votes. You see, when a governor comes from north, a candidate, he picks a running mate from the south, so that he brings votes from the south or from women from different constituencies. So you end up creating the impression that governor and deputy are co-governors. Like my friend Sabula said it clearly. He said he's not a deputy governor in Kakamega. He says he's a co-governor. You see, Uhuru and Ruto, the same. The impression they gave the world was that Ruto was a co-president. And they were sharing ministries in the middle. And they were putting on uniform. White shirt, red tie, sleeve. You get what I'm saying? Those are just impressions. Okay. It is nowhere in the constitution. A deputy president is not a co-president. A deputy president has no defined roles other than to be the spare wheel in the boot, waiting to be used in the event of a puncture. Secondly, he may do whatever the president gives him as his principal assistant. A principal assistant has no role. It's not there in the constitution. Okay. So what role is this that Gachagua has been denied? So even when Ruto was complaining in 2018 to 2022, he was just talking hot air.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the kind of tribal card that he's been playing here. And of course, he affirmed just the other day that he is guilty as charged. And therefore saying that if there is any consequences that he should bear as a result of loving his people, then he's more than ready to go for it.
You can call it tribal card if you wish, but Gachagua is saying, I convinced the people of Mount Kenya to vote for Ruto. Ruto is not one of us, yet I was able to convince them. This must have been based on the understanding that I will represent their interests. How does an entire community, the most powerful community in the country, economically, politically, and otherwise, population or demographically, How does the most powerful community support somebody from a smaller community for president just for the sake of it? There must be some expectations.
Okay.
And what Gachagua is saying, I'm trying to make sure those expectations are realized. I live up to those expectations. I can't have mobilized the entire Mount Kenya to vote for Ruto, and then we get nothing out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the stake is about what is ours. So that's not tribalism.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's tribalism. But somebody can choose to view it as tribalism. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The claims on his impeachment attempts here, of course, those ones have been rubbished by a few members of parliament here. But then, if at all that was to happen, Prof, do you think that would actually, maybe, how would that work in terms of building him or breaking him at this particular moment?
It can't work, so let's start there.
Okay.
It's not hypothetical, it's just real that it cannot work. Impeachments are very difficult.
Even after allegations of
they are never easy.
Meetings being held.
They are never easy because the sort of numbers required. It's not easy to be unanimous on removing the deputy president. And the demographics will not be in favor of that. Yeah. To get the entire country to say, let Gachagua go, including his own people. You think the Mount Kenya people will make the mistake they made with Uhuru again, where they threw their own son under the bus? You think they are going to repeat the same mistake? For that to happen, the entire Mount Kenya region, the UDA MPs, must vote to impeach him. Then he will be impeached. But that's unlikely.
You're talking about numbers. If at all it was supposed to work that way, and assuming that it works with Raila Odinga and gets the support of the opposition members of parliament plus the UDA members, perhaps who are die-hard supporters of the president.
It's not possible.
You say it's not possible.
It is the biggest problem to this, the biggest challenge to this impeachment would be only a madman or a woman from Mount Kenya will vote to impeach the deputy president. It's not be wise. It'll be suicide. You take the rope that's being used to hang your own, and you are the one to do the noose and pull it. People think you are crazy. So it will take a very daredevil MP from Mount Kenya to vote to impeach the president.
Why are we trying to make it as if it has to be Mount Kenya MPs who must vote for him to be impeached?
But you need those numbers. In the absence of those numbers, you are going nowhere. Okay. Because you need only 100 and we have 349, eh? Out of 349, there's 233 thereabout. So you need about, I can't get the, you're Sabina gap, but you see, that magical number is not the 233. Okay. The magical number is the one-third. You only need that 1/3 to say no, and it can't work. Yeah.
Finally, as we wind up this show, how does Raila's allies joining government help build or rather break the deputy president? Because here you are saying here that it's like
what is meant, what they thought and what they think, and they are wrong. They think if you have Raila working with Ruto and Mudavadi, then you have the Luo nation, you have the Luya nation, and those two will more than compensate the votes you lose by abandoning Gachagua and Mount Kenya. But I've told them I have bad news for them. It's not possible.
Okay.
That will not work. You cannot lose such a populous vote basket like Mount Kenya and hope to compensate it with a very unreliable Luya vote. You see, I don't know why Kenyans don't use numbers to understand things. Why they don't even look at recent history? Why do you think more than 1/3 of Luos didn't go out to vote for Raila?
Tell me.
2.1 million Luo counties, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisumu, and Siaya. 2.1 registered voters. 1.4 voted. 700, which is a third, didn't vote. Why do you think that when Raila had come, the closest he had come to being president, and yet less than 70% turnout, when instead it should be 90, when Uhuru was standing, he was getting 89, 92, 90 from Mount Kenya. That's how it works. What does that tell you? It tells you Raila has influence among his people, but that influence is going down. In 2017, and I told him in public, you can check it on the YouTube, during his book launch, I said, you are going to pay for your unnecessary involvement in local politics. What does it matter to you who becomes the governor of Siaya? Why must your brother, a very good friend of mine, a very good guy, why must he be senator of Siaya? Those things will have an impact on the total number of votes you get. 2017, 2022, there was even more. He was beaten by 200,000 votes. 700,000 Luos didn't vote.
Okay.
What am I trying to arrive at? Should he attempt to take the Luos to Ruto, for example, the turnout in Luo Nyanza will not be impressive. It will be so bad it will not help Ruto.
Okay.
You get it? And then the Luyas have their own internal politics. Inter-clan, inter-sub-tribe politics. So you are not hoping to get 100% of the Luya MPs to vote to impeach Gachagua. It is an impossible task.
Okay.
They should just ask me. Tell them, try something else. Mutakuwa embarrassed mkijaribu kuimpeach Gachagua. Wachaneni na mtu wa Mungu. He's a man of God. Leave him alone. Thank you.
Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans. Okay.